So, um, this week we are going to go back in time with ourselves. We're going to start at the beginning and just try to begin again, start again. Forgive yourself for anything and everything that has happened up until this point in time in your life. Because there is nothing that we can do about yesterday. There's nothing we can do about 5 minutes ago. Absolutely nothing. What can we do? Can we change it? No, it's already finished. It's already done. So now we're going to learn how to forgive ourselves. Okay. So today we're going to do a meditation first. Usually we do it at the end. We're going to do it first, and we may do another one at the end. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, get in a position where you're comfortable. Relax your shoulders, relax your hands, your arms. Just be, if you want to sit on the floor, you can sit on the floor. Just be in a relaxed state. Close your eyes and just listen to what I'm speaking. Now, I want you to just think about things that I'm going to say. Don't answer out loud. Can you hear my voice? Yes, you can. Can you see me? No, but you can hear my voice. Yes. You are not talking right now, but you're having a conversation. Is that correct? Yes. This is how you do it within yourself. You have a conversation. You don't have to speak it out loud. You speak it inside yourself. But what are you telling yourself? What are you speaking inside of yourself? Sometimes we speak, that person is thinking this of us, or that person is thinking that of us, or I'm thinking this of that person. Let that go. What are you telling yourself? Why? Why don't you just be kind to yourself? Sometimes we say to ourselves, why don't they like me? Keep looking. Sometimes we say, I need them in my life. I need this, I need that. But all these things are just conversation that you are having inside your own mind. Now keep your eyes closed and let's start a new conversation. Completely let go of the old one. Let go of the thoughts that you had just now. Picture inside a beautiful heart filled with loving kindness. Picture this heart. Picture someone giving you kindness. The most kind feeling you ever felt. Picture it. Picture someone just maybe giving you flowers or giving you chocolate, just being kind to you for no reason at all. Can you see that person? Can you see that person giving you kindness? Who is in there? Who is it? You're there by yourself. You're that person giving yourself kindness. No one else was there. You are the one that is giving yourself chocolates or flowers in your mind. There's no one else there doing it. That was you. How did it feel when you got chocolates and flowers from that person? Felt good, didn't it? This is you inside your own self. Every day of your life, find the goodness, the kind person inside your heart. See them. Know them. Let them be kind to you. But above everything else, know that that person is you. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. And one more time, deep breath in and let it out. And slowly open your eyes. And where are we?
Here now.
Yes. Did you all see that person being kind?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that that is you? Like, we don't know that, right? That's a hard one. That's hard for us to visualize ourself as the kind one. Ourself as that person that is that love. But that is you. That is you. And we spend all our time thinking bad about ourselves. But really, that bad person that we're speaking of isn't real. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are having a conversation about negative things toward ourselves. When if we have a conversation of positive things about ourselves, it will start to help us forgive ourselves. This is like the biggest thing for you to be able to let go of everything that you're holding on to negative about yourself. This is the first step. And that is what I mean when I talk about such a dumb truth. Because I guess I haven't really explained it in depth. But this is what it is. This is looking at yourself for who you really, really are. And we spend so much time inside our own mind, like we're in thought inside ourselves, having conversations like we just had, only in the negative. We start judging ourselves. And you may have done it even as we were doing that meditation, going into, oh, I need to, okay, bring myself back, pay attention, blah, blah, blah. Forgive yourself. Let it go. This is important. We all have like these things that we wish we hadn't done. Okay? Everybody in this world, there's not one person in this world that hasn't done something that they haven't said, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Right? But the deal is, it's pointless to say that because you can't take it back. It's already finished. Forgive it. Let it go because something else is coming. Like, this life is such a beautiful life. We think it depends on someone else. We think someone else has to be part of our life and someone else has to be happy. But the truth is, you cannot make someone else happy and they cannot make you happy. That's the truth. Like someone else cannot make you happy. You have to be happy inside your own self. And it takes practice because however old you are, I happen to be 59, but however old you are, that's how long you've been practicing being hard on yourself, judging yourself, being resentful towards yourself. So, of course, it's going to take us a little bit of practice and time, which that's where patience comes in, right? Because if we practice every day, give an effort, just when you catch yourself, because you're not going to catch every thought you have. Let's just get that clear because you're not used to knowing what you're thinking. So you're not going to catch every thought you have. But when you do catch it, because you will, like it'll be running crazy with you, and all of a sudden you'll say, "What am I thinking?" Or why do I feel like this? Why am I feeling bad? Stop yourself and say, it doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter why, because it's already finished. What matters is what you're going to do now. So now you can bring that person giving you flowers and chocolates, right? You can bring that person into your heart because that's you. I just took you through it. I just showed you how to like quiet your mind, look at your thoughts, look at somebody giving you flowers or giving you candy or whatever, a hug or whatever. And when you pictured that, no one else was there, correct? There was no one else in your mind but you. You were the one giving yourself that goodness, that love. It's in you. You are that. If you remember, you can do this every time when you start to go down a trail of, you know, self-hatred. It's not necessary. How do I know? Yeah, many times. Many times I went through, I suck at, all kinds of things I told myself. Even to the point where I tried to commit suicide. Like I went down that path, but never again because I know truth inside myself. I know the loving kindness that I have in my heart. And I give it to myself on a daily basis. So, yesterday, when I couldn't go see my friend, I gave myself love by going to the mountains and communing with nature, right? Even though I couldn't exactly do it all like what I wanted, I thought I wanted, but the universe gave me more because it gave me 3 little children who needed kindness. I thought I needed to go into the woods and be by myself. But the universe was like, no, no, no. You need to see these little children and be kind to them. And that's worth more than, oh, okay, I get it. You see? Knowing that I couldn't do anything but show them kindness. I couldn't help them in any way. But I could show them loving kindness, which is what I did. Now, do you think they'll ever forget that experience of this crazy lady in a rest stop handing out donuts? No. They're going to remember that. They're going to remember that they couldn't eat the donut, but their brother could. They'll remember that. They'll remember me giving them a banana when they couldn't eat the donut. They'll remember those things. They'll remember when their life was in upheaval and they could sense that there was something going on with their mom and dad, that there was someone there to give them kindness. They'll remember that. See, that's who my heart is. That's what everybody's heart is. But people have to see it in themselves first. It's so important because the more you see it in yourself, the more you can see it in everyone around you. And it's so beautiful. It's hard in the sense because you see it in them, but they don't see it in them, you know? So people walk around thinking they're not good enough when I'm seeing beautiful things in everybody. You know, I saw those little children, they were just great. I saw their father, he's suffering, their mother in the car suffering. They're all suffering, but they have hearts inside of them that are beautiful. But they've lost that along the way. That's what's happened to us. We've lost it. It's there, it's always been there from the time we were here, maybe even probably before we were here, you know? And then we get here and this world is a little chaotic. And so we start listening to what other people are speaking. And we're listening to untruth. You understand? Like we listen to things that are untrue and then we think of them as truth. Yes. And then we get confused inside our own self and we're like, oh, well, no, I'm not good. Well, yes, you are. I don't care what you've done. That's nothing. I care what you're going to do today. You know, I care about your soul or whatever you want to call it becoming forgiving itself and becoming happy inside, peaceful inside. I care about that. And it really, really, really works. You know, every day when I do a meditation, I ask how to show you. I ask how to show you yourself. How can I show them their true, beautiful self? Because right now they believe they're not beautiful. They believe they're not kind and loving. Every day when I meditate, give me something to show them their beauty. Every day. And every day things come. And I share with you whatever it is. Sometimes it's through a post online app. You know, I send little things that I may read or something that may come to me all the time because I'm trying to give you that little bit of sunshine when your day may be going not so great. And I sense it. Right, Kathy? I sense it. When I'm teaching someone, I'm very in tune to everyone I teach. And I know when they're having struggles. They don't even have to speak it to me. Right, Kathy? You don't have to because I already know. And I may not speak to you. I may not call you. I may not reach out, but I've already sent you loving kindness from my heart to yours. And it's a beautiful thing that happens because you can feel it. And you don't even know what you're feeling sometimes. You're just like, oh, you might see a dog that makes you smile and that's not me. That's just the universe, working. We're all working together, just trying to give a little helping hand. That's what we do. And like, it's not just me. Sometimes it feels like it's just me working by myself, but it's not just me working by myself. There's many, many, like when I chant that chant, asking for everything in the universe to come together and work together in loving kindness. Oh, it happens and it's beautiful. It is just an amazing thing if we allow ourselves that. But if we don't, then we continue down the same path we've been, and we already know where that path is taking us. Like it's taken us there every single time.
Mhm.
So why not try something new? Just try it for yourself. You don't have, if it doesn't work, don't do it. If it does work, you've gained peace. You've gained loving kindness for yourself. That's what happens. Like the worst case scenario is you heal yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Worst case.
Yeah. Or you can just let it go and not do anything and you're still in the same place. You're not anywhere else. So you have those options. It's up to you. But if you truly try it inside yourself and forgive yourself and start loving yourself, your whole world becomes that loving kindness. Like most of the time, people are afraid to change because they're afraid of what that change will bring,
Mhm.
right? But I can speak from truth that change will bring unimaginable goodness to you. Like it's unimaginable. You can't imagine, you know, Roger, even though he's not here, even though he runs late every week, right? He still found peace. He still found happiness.
Yes.
And that's because if you do it inside yourself, it's it's blissful. And then you can start understanding that, okay, when I do it, I'm at peace. When I don't do it, I'm in a little chaos. So let me pay attention. Then you can start practicing paying attention of what's going on inside of you. Stop looking outside of you. Stop pointing your finger outside of you. Stop thinking that it's something that's causing you this suffering. Okay? Because just like the meditation when we saw the loving kindness, the person with flowers, right? Person with giving you candy or a hug, it's you in there. That's who is speaking. You're speaking to yourself. Remember this. And then look at what you're speaking to yourself and why. Like, if you're saying something that's unkind to yourself, just stop. Don't do that to yourself. Then forgive yourself. Like, know what the unkind thing was that you said. Like, recognize it because you do it over and over and over again. And it really creates suffering inside. So when you recognize, okay, what did I just tell myself? Why am I talking to myself like this? Okay, I'm going to stop right now and I'm going to forgive myself for saying those things because it was unkind to myself. Like really most of the time we would not speak the things we speak to ourselves. We would not speak to someone else.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So know that when you're speaking something unkind to yourself, you're creating suffering. But the suffering isn't only in you.
Broadcast it.
Yes. We, when we suffer, just like the little children, I don't think you guys were here but I went to a rest stop and these little kids were there. And their parents were obviously not happy with each other. And so, just like them, they could feel their parents' unhappiness with each other, even though there were no words being spoken. That's powerful, isn't it? But the kindness is just as powerful. I can generate that without one word being spoken, and so can you, with a smile, right?
Mhm.
With a thought of kindness. You don't even have to say anything. You can just smile and have a thought of kindness, and that person will feel it. It's magical, really. So, what do you think happens inside yourself when you smile at yourself?
That's right.
Yes. But we have to do it. See, we're not doing it. We're talking to ourselves about all the negative things that we think we have done, right?
Mhm.
But those aren't truths. See, most of the time we go into this whole thing and none of it is true. Sometimes we do something and we make a mistake. Who in the world hasn't made a mistake?
No.
So why be so judgmental about it for yourself? If someone did the things that you criticize yourself for, would you criticize them? Think about it. What would you say to those people? And if you would, okay, let's just say, okay, yeah, I would. I would say you shouldn't have done that. Then take that and say, okay, I won't do it next time. Right? I mean, that's all you have to do because you cannot change the past. You can't change what you did. So the only thing you can do is say, okay, today, right now, I'm not going to do it.
Better person.
I'm going to change the process of the way I think. And when you do that, it does change. And it's really starts, but you have to, it's not a one-time shot. It's not a one and done. Okay. It doesn't work like that. You have to do it every day, all day long. But isn't that a little bit more beautiful than every day, all day long being critical about yourself? Because really, that's what you're doing now. Like now, you're just criticizing yourself all day long. So wouldn't it be better to be kind to yourself all day long?
Yes.
And then you'll get in the habit of being kind to yourself all day long. Every single thought that you have of not being kind to yourself, switch it right away. Like when you recognize it. Sometimes it gets carried away and we don't recognize it right away. And we go down into what they call depression or whatever. But really, you can come out just like that instantly. You can come out of it instantly. How do you do that? You start speaking kindly to yourself. Like you tell yourself, you know what? Yeah, I made a mistake. So what? I'm not going to do that again. I learned from it. This world, we're here. This is our classroom. This world is our classroom, and it's teaching us what to do. It's teaching us how to become loving kindness. That's what it's doing, is teaching us every day, every day, every day. If we learn it. But it's like, if you go to school and you sit in the classroom, but you don't listen to the teacher, You just sit in the classroom, you might be reading a book about something else. So you never gain the knowledge from that teacher because you're not paying attention and you're reading a book about something else. Stop reading the book about something else and start really reading the book about kindness inside your own self, forgiveness inside your own self. Like start practicing that every day, every day, every day. Immediately when you start to feel the negative, we feel it coming on. It's not like we don't feel it. We definitely feel it. We can, it's that little twinge of, oh my God, either anger, frustration, sadness. It's one of those emotions that are going to take you down that slippery slope into the big mud bog, where you go into the mud and you have a hard time getting out, right? But you don't have to even go down that slippery slope. You can stop it at the top of the hill, turn around and go the opposite direction. Right away you can. You just have to practice that. And your mind will want you to continue down the slippery slope. Our minds, because they're used to that. That's the comfort place. That's what they're used to. And so they're afraid to take that other path. Don't be afraid. It's a beautiful path. It's an amazing path. And it will take you to places that, I can tell you, but you have to experience it for yourself. And the only way to experience it for yourself, you cannot experience this until you give yourself kindness, until you forgive yourself. That's the only way to experience it. You can't be in the self-hatred and experience loving kindness. The two do not reside together. They do not. So you have to work, and it's work. I'm not kidding. I'm not gonna joke with you and go, oh, it's a piece of cake. You can do it. It's no harder than living in suffering. Okay. Matter of fact, it's much easier than living in suffering. It's just something we're not used to. So the more we practice at it, the more we get used to it, the easier it becomes. And the next thing you know, you're doing it on a regular basis without a thought.
It's just who you are.
Yes. But it's the starting, stopping. Just keep it going, And if you do stop for a little while, so what? Start again. Begin again. And when you do, you'll get used to it. And you'll get used to forgiving yourself. This is how it works. I was really bad at criticizing myself. Really bad at it. Or good, however you want to look at it, But I did it often. But then I started not doing it. I started, oh no, I have kindness. And then I started sharing kindness because I had kindness. I started giving myself that. But you truly have to, it is an effort. You have to give an effort because we are so used to giving the effort to the other. That's the effort that we give it to that. And we tell ourselves we're the victim of someone else's problems. Don't tell yourself that. That leaves you powerless. Okay. That means if you are the victim of someone else's problem, that means you can't solve it.
Right. Take some self.
Yes. But you can solve this. It has nothing to do with anyone else. This is you doing you. And this is powerful for you. You don't need to think about everybody else. You just need to think about, okay, how am I going to show myself loving kindness? How am I going to forgive myself? Let me start today. Let me just start today. And day by day, little by little, give it an effort. It's not going to all happen overnight. Don't think it will. It would be great. It would be great if it did. I mean, if you do that, I'm going to be happy. Okay. I'm going to be happy if overnight you get enlightenment and you're like, I got it. I'm not suffering anymore. I'm going to be doing a happy dance. But normally, it takes a little bit of time. That's why you have to have patience. That's why you have to give it an effort. You know, these 5 things that Master Boomney gave me, they're spot on. There's nothing if you do these 5 things, you're golden. And I'm telling you, because I had someone in my life, I had many teachers in my life, many. Before Master Boomney, I had many teachers. Oh, I took every class I could find, trying to find enlightenment. I did. But when I wasn't looking, when I was looking inside myself, I was sitting by a pond, meditating with myself, no one else around. That's when it came. That's when Master Boomney, come here. He didn't speak English, but gave me these things. And when he spoke it and I looked it up and I knew what it meant, okay? At that moment in time, I was like, oh my God, this is like the key that unlocks the door. And you guys have it. We all have it. No, but nobody has told us that we had it. Now I'm telling you, you have it. Speak true to yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Forgive yourself. Be patient. Make an effort to really take care of your own self inside, not outside. I'm not talking about doing anything outside yourself. I'm talking about inside, cleaning your heart, forgiving yourself, giving yourself some love, being kind. Stop judging. It's not helping you. And as you do this, then it begins. It's like you can take a deep breath and let it go and, yeah. And then you start to balance out. And that's what it's all about. You're not going to feel ecstatic all the time. That's not real. But you can be balanced. You can be, not too happy, not too sad. You can be around people and not take on their stuff, not try to fix them. Just be, okay, that's them. That's okay. It's like those children, what could I do? Nothing. Here, have a banana, have a donut. Enjoy your life. That's it. That's all I could do. There's no reason for me to take on their stuff. Know this inside yourself. There is people around us all day, every day that has a bunch of garbage. That's their garbage. You don't need to take it home with you. That's theirs. And I can tell you that in our life, and this is with everyone's life, things that happen in our life happen because we did something to create them. Everything. There's not anything that happens in our life that you can't trace back to a thought that you had. And it creates something. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. So you're the creator of your own stuff. You like it? Good. Create more. You don't like it? Good. Don't create anymore. Create something else. It's very powerful when you know that you can do this. And like the thoughts you have are starting to create things, and just like the parents of those children, they're having thoughts and they're acting on their thoughts and they're creating things and they're not paying attention to what they're creating. And it's affecting the children. Think about it.
Mhm.
So, if we pay attention to what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we're speaking, that's why we have right speech, right thought, right action. Then we know, we're aware of exactly what we're creating. And we can create the beauty in life, or we can create the not so beautiful. And in the beauty of life comes happiness and peace. In the not so beautiful comes suffering and grief. That's not to say that sometimes we don't have grief over, let's say someone dies, right? You're going to feel bad about it. You don't have to stay in it. You don't have to. I've had a lot of people die in my life. I had my mom, my brother, my sister. I've had people die a lot. I didn't stay in the suffering because what I know is that none of us are leaving here alive, right? Is that a true statement? We're all gonna leave this body, right, behind. So I know that. And if I accept it, then I know that, first of all, the people who die are no longer suffering.
Correct.
And so when that takes place, they're free of the suffering. Okay. So I know my mom had cancer. I know that when she died, she no longer was hurting. And my love for her is more important than my feelings of I'm going to miss her. You understand? Not that I don't love my mother, I do. But my feeling of, if I sat, and this is a good analogy because then we can start to know how to prevent our suffering in our own mind. So if I sat and thought about my mother all the time and said, "Oh, I miss my mom. I wish my mom was here." These are thoughts that are creating suffering right away, right? And they're going to keep creating suffering every time I think that. But if I think, "Oh man, I am so glad that she's out of her suffering. I'm so happy that she's at peace." Much lighter, right? I'm not suffering over her not being here. Same thing if I've had men in my life that I broke up with, right? Or they broke up with me. Oh, grieving the breakup, right? But then if you think about it, your life is really better off without them. If you think about it in with a mind that's clear and not in emotion. If we stay in the emotion, it's going to create grief. Hello?
You know the craziest thing was I swore I heard him say hit D when I was walking up the stairs. Oh, was it you? Oh.
Not so crazy, is it? So this is how we have to do inside our own self. Are you guys, are you understanding what I'm talking about?
Perspective, I was.
Yeah, because it's important. Can you hand that to Roger? Because when we do that, it really allows us not to suffer.
Right.
It really does. So, but we had, like I said, you have to make the effort and go and think about it. Like you can't, if you just stay in your thoughts. Like our thoughts tend to run us instead of us running our thoughts. So what happens is we have a thought and then it carries us away and we keep thinking about it, and then we make little scenarios about that thought. Well, if they did this, then I would do this, and then I do this, then they would do this. This is fantasy, just so you know. It's not real. It's not truth. There's no reality to it. It's just something that you have made up in your mind, and you've thought about it enough that you think it's real, but it's not. It's just a story that you told yourself. Now tell yourself a new story. And that's all you have. I mean, really, that's all you have to do. You start telling yourself, oh, no, that's not truth. That's not real. I'm making that up. And the minute you say that to yourself, you're going to be like, oh, damn, I was making that up. Like you'll be able to recognize it inside yourself. But if you don't and you just let it keep going, then you'll go into suffering and you'll have to like dig your way out. And you don't have to dig your way out. That's something else that we do. Like we take ourselves down there and then you say, oh, I can't get out. I'm here. How do I get out of here? And you go and you still are having a conversation with yourself that isn't true. And none of it exists. So in the big picture of things, why not speak to yourself with forgiveness and kindness? And roll with that story that you're telling yourself, because that is true. And that will create non-suffering in your life and happiness.
And it's true.
Yeah.
We get confused what truth is.
Yeah, definitely. People, everybody gets confused with what truth is because they'll argue with me. They'll say, well, it is true. It happened. And I'm like, okay, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it's not happening now. It happened, sure, but it doesn't exist anymore because it's not happening right this second. It's already done, finished, and gone. Does not exist. It cannot exist if it's already done and gone. Yeah, but we want to argue about it and go, but it did. It does exist. I know it happened. It really did happen. I didn't say it didn't happen. Right. But if it's already finished, it's done. It's non-existent. It does not exist anymore. That is the truth. And when you speak truth to yourself, you can start letting go of all that stuff that you've been carrying your whole life. You can let it go, let it go, let it go, little by little, let it go, let it go. And then it becomes beautiful. Then you can start having joy in the fact that, oh, I let that go. I saw that one, and you'll see it and you'll kind of laugh to yourself. Oh man, I sure was making myself suffer on that one. Glad I could let that one go now. So what? You don't have to cling to it. You don't have to hang on to it. You don't have to judge yourself. You don't have to make a big deal inside yourself about you suffered. Okay. We all do at some point. Just let it go. Forgive yourself. Be like, okay, I got this. And you do. Yeah. Little by little, little by little. Don't think you got to do everything at once. Just focus on forgiving yourself inside yourself. Find the flowers in your heart. Give them to yourself. And it's really very beautiful. Everybody getting this? Yeah. Okay, because it's important. It really is important. It's the only way to do it. You can't, until you forgive yourself and let go of all the garbage that you've been clinging to. And honestly, The fear factor is a lot of it, afraid of the unknown. So let's look at the unknown. Let's look at the things that we're afraid of. What are they?
The dark.
Really?
Nothing.
Nothing. What are you afraid of? Afraid that somebody's not going to like you? Afraid that people will think you're crazy? What are you afraid of? What's the fear? And when you look at that, is it worth your peace? What someone else thinks. Number one, it's not worth your peace. Number two, they're not thinking what you think they're thinking. Okay. let me just say that. When we think that someone is thinking negatively about us, that is ourself thinking negative about ourself. It's not that person.
To us.
Okay. Like, be clear on that. When you think somebody is thinking negative about you, okay, and they haven't spoken anything, you're just in your own mind going, oh, I know what they're thinking, right? That's you. That's you talking shit about yourself. Stop it. Don't do that.
So fear of the unknown is the desire to control.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why many times I have said, get comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Why? Because the uncomfortable will set you free. Because it's a place of non-control. See, yesterday when I went to the mountains, I originally was going to see my friend Lisa, right? But then I get a text, so my plans change. Instead of trying to control what happened next, I just let the world go.
Yeah.
And I experienced something very beautiful. I didn't go, okay, let me put on my GPS and find out where I'm going to go now. Nope. I said, let me just see where it takes me. Let me go down a road I've never been down before.
See.
It took me right where I needed to be. Those little kids, they needed somebody to give them a little bit of love. So I did. It took me right where I needed to be. That's what happens when we let go of trying to control. It takes us right where we need to be. And then we get to experience the beauty of it. And it is very, very beautiful. But only if we let it. If we try to control it, what is that? What is trying to control?
It's your ego.
It is our ego, 100%. And your ego will not set you free.
It's the one thing to kill.
That's right. It's the one thing that you're allowed to kill is your ego. Because it's not serving you. It's making you have chaos in your life. It's making you feel that you are better than someone else. But we're not. We're all equal. We're all the same. We're all on the same playing field. We're all here doing the same thing. All of us are looking for peace, looking for happiness. Everybody in this world is trying to do the same thing. Some they're searching for it with money, things. Let me accumulate as much as I can. Some are searching for it in other ways. But everybody is looking for peace and happiness. Would you say that's true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody in the world. There's not one person in the world that wouldn't give their eye teeth to be happy, to be at peace. But you can't buy it.
No.
You can't buy it. You can't get it from outside of you. And you are the only one who can do it. So that's why it's so important to, number one, forgive yourself. Number two, let go of trying to control it. And just be in kindness to yourself. Yeah. I feel like I'm a preacher, and you know how some of those at some of those churches, the people will go, and you got to do this, and then they have something, yeah, that's right, or preach it. It's Daniel's my backup going, yeah, say it again. So really, life is joyous. Really, it is. And if we just find the joy inside our own heart, find it. It's there. I promise you, it's there. Forgive yourself. Don't judge yourself. Allow yourself to be in peace.
There was that conversation we had that one night that I called you up when I had the epiphany.
Yeah.
It's reminding me of that.
It's funny because we have epiphanies and we think in that moment,
Figured it all out.
yeah, I got it. And this is it. And I'm not going to suffer anymore. And then we forget
To stay with
to do it,
Yeah.
to continue to do it. And then whenever you stop doing that for yourself, then you're going to go back into your suffering.
Yeah.
It happens 100% of the time.
Every time.
But
Stop it.
yes,
Do it.
and I don't, for me, it's a day, like I do it every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not doing it. And I stay in non-suffering. And I have to do that because I teach so many people. If I weren't doing that, I would be in chaos. Okay. So every day I do it. Every day I know that whatever's happening outside of me is outside of me. Every single day I know that without even question. I get up early when no one else is awake because that's my time. Take care of me. Oh, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So every day I give that to myself. What are you giving to yourself? Think about it. You don't have to answer, just answer to yourself. But one time a week coming to class is not going to make you not suffer. I can give you things all the time, but if you don't use them, they're not going to do anything for you. That's the truth of it. Only you have to do it for yourself. I am giving you tools, but you actually have to do it. And you have to do it more than you don't do it. Okay? It has to be more goodness going in than there is the thoughts of suffering. Yes. And if you can do that, then you'll start to tip the scale. See? And then you'll start to go, okay, I'm only suffering 20% of this time and 80% I'm happy, right? You can start tipping the scale and let yourself be in peace and happiness. Just little by little. Be patient, give the effort. Okay? Everybody understand? Okay. All right. So it's 8:00. It goes by quick, doesn't it?
Yep.
Does anybody have anything they need to help with? Need help with? Need questions, concerns, anything that been bugging you that you need help to get out of? If not, it's okay. It's good if not. But if you do, I am here to help. No?
Yeah.
All right, cool. How about you, Roger? You got anything?
I could be a little more punctual.
All right, so I'm going to say thank you to everybody who is joining online. And I hope that you find peace and happiness. If you need help, you know my number, you know how to reach me. And may you all be happy and live in peace and kindness. All right. Oh, I ended, I think. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, Anna.
It's all right.
Yeah, is it so? Or?
No, because it's you.